I want to talk about the simple way to launch a profitable newsletter quickly. So there's a few steps along the process, and I'm going to talk about them in this video. So take your pen and paper out and let's get rolling. The very first thing that you need to do is you want to define your audience and your niche, right? So if you already have a business, you already have customers or subscribers or clients, then that's going to be the niche that you're in, right? And you can create a newsletter around that, and you can start emailing those subscribers. The second thing is if you want to go into a new niche, right? Maybe you want to go into something that's completely different than the business you're in, which is what I did with mine. I had a marketing agency at the time, and then I decided I wanted to get into a niche that didn't revolve around this space, right? So I built some brands up that were brand specific in a very different niche. And what I did is what I would recommend going forward, if that's what you want to do, is I'd pick something that you're curious in. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be somebody who knows everything about that topic, because if you're curious and you're willing to research and report, you have that ability to provide and build a great newsletter. And understand that the newsletter that you're building is an experience for people, right? It's an experience, it's a destination that they're able to read, learn, and gain information and value from you. So that's number one, is build the audience, build a niche. Understand who it is that you're targeting in your audience. Understand the demographic, right? People talk about building avatars and everything else. So you want to really understand, like, is it men? Is it women? Is it both? What are their age range? What are their likes, their interests, right? You want to kind of understand that about the audience. I'm not going to go into how to build avatars and do all that. There's all kinds of free videos out there for you to do that. So I think this is just understand that that's something that's important to do, right? Understand who your audience is. And the reason being is for step two, because you're going to follow the money, right? You want to understand, you don't want to just jump into a niche that doesn't have any money in it or it isn't profitable. So when you understand who your audience is and you understand your niche, you can start following the money. And the way that we like to do it is we first go to see, hey, look, I'm a firm believer, like a lot of times in marketing and in business, you're not really creating something, inventing something brand new that hasn't been done before. So chances are somebody is already marketing to an audience or niche that you're thinking about. So I go to find those publications. I want to figure out who's already creating this stuff, who's already creating content, who's got offers and everything else, right? So if I can find a website or I can find another newsletter or a blog, something along those lines of somebody who's already marketing to that niche, that's fantastic. And then I can kind of get an idea of, all right, well, I wonder what size it is. Do they have a lot of subscribers on their social? Do they have subscribers on their newsletter? Do they tell you what that is? And the second thing I want to see is, are there advertisers spending money for that audience and niche that we're in? So that's what I mean by follow the money. One is, are there already people publishing content over there? If so, they're doing it most likely because they're generating revenue. Two, I'm going to go find the advertisers that are driving revenue, that are spending money in that niche, which allows me to go ahead now and say, hey, once I build that audience, by the way, I've got an audience of your people. Would you be interested in, getting access to them? Absolutely. They're going to spend money with you, right? Then it comes down to performance. So the next thing, once you do that, once you follow the money, you understand, right? I got my audience, I got my niche, I followed the money, I know there's cash to be made and there's profit to be generated. The key is, what's your content strategy going to be? So the very next step is pick a content strategy, right? So what kind of content are you going to send out? Is it going to be curated content? Is it going to be deep dive content? So we've actually got 6 different content strategies we use that we teach on in our training. And more importantly, we like to use a mixture of them, and it all kind of comes down to the niche that we're in determines what we're going to do. So if you're an expert, you might want to create a thought-provoking content piece that you write. If you're more of a curated news site, you want to just provide insight to the niche based on something someone else already created. So there's different things you can do there. And then you want to go ahead and build that content strategy out. So the very next step is to send your first newsletter, right? So if you've already got subscribers, awesome. Send them the new newsletter, get some feedback from them, and get it in motion. The key is get it in motion. So the second thing, if you don't have subscribers and you've chosen to go into a new niche and a topic you're curious about, what you want to do is add some friends and, actually post online in your social, say, hey, I've just launched this new newsletter, subscribe if you're interested. I don't even care if your mom is the only one that subscribed to your newsletter. The key here is not who subscribed. The key is actually pressing send. Get that first newsletter out there and then get into the habit of sending it on whatever cadence you pick. Are you going to send it once a week? Are you going to send it every day? Whatever that is, right? We have different ones that we send daily, and we have some that we only send once a week. So you can pick what your method is and what your process is, and then just get in the motion and the habit of pressing send. So the very next thing is you want to grow your newsletter. So you've got it, you've got your niche, you've set everything up, you're ready to roll, you've pressed send. Now we got to get more subscribers, right? Because the more subscribers, the bigger the audience you own, the more money you're going to make. Now there's a couple ways to grow that audience. Number one is free. Maybe you want to use some free stuff. So build out if it's a new niche, potentially leverage social media channels. You want to leverage forums, different ways that you can post and communicate to get people to come back into your account and subscribe, right, into your newsletter. Now the next way, my favorite way, is paid traffic. So for us, I'm a big fan of growing our newsletter through paid traffic. I can control the cost. I can say, I know I'm going to make X amount, I'm going to spend X amount, I'm going to make X amount, I'm going to get going. So for us, we've actually created and invented this process called the one-step funnel, which has allowed us to drive our lead costs down, our engagement down, our lead costs down with paid traffic. Another thing that we teach in our training, but the one-step funnel is a very unique process that we have multiple points that happen through it. Number one is we create a engaging landing page that people want to subscribe to. The second thing we do is we actually have some monetization features built into it. And the third thing is we're creating subscribers that actually want to open up that first email we send them so we can get that engagement. So the one-step funnel is actually a great way for paid traffic. You could also use lead magnets and things like that if you want. We have found that lead magnets sometimes, though, the engagement rate on the back end is not as high as our one-step funnels. And engagement's key when you do have newsletter subscribers. So the very next thing is, once you have an audience and you're growing it, you can start leveraging sponsorships inside your newsletter to generate revenue. A lot of times people want to ask, like, how many subscribers do I need to be able to sell a sponsorship? Well, I can tell you right now, you don't need a lot because the relationship's different. So you might have a relationship where they're just paying you per sale. And if that's the case, there's no risk for the advertiser at that point. If they're just saying, hey, look, I'm going to pay you $100 for every sale you generate. What I like to do on some of these affiliate relationships, though, and this is key, is find some softwares that you can leverage, softwares that pay reoccurring over and over. So now you can start building up some continuity month over month that comes into you. Now, once you do have a larger audience, 10, 15, 25,000, 100,000, or multiple millions of subscribers, what's going to happen is you can start selling deals on a CPM side. We actually do CPM sales for our newsletter founder mastermind clients. But the CPM side is a way for you to say, all right, hey, look, I've got 100,000 subscribers. It's $15 CPM. And what that stands for is the CPM is what they're paying, $15 for every 1,000 emails and impressions, right? And so for you, if you got 100,000, you're charging $15 CPM. That's $1,500 to you to just go and press send. They're going to give you the links, the copy, everything you need to go just press send. So which is another feature of the newsletter business that I love is you're not out there constantly writing copy and creating all these different things. The advertisers are giving those to you. So that's it. I mean, that's really, if you want to quickly build a profitable newsletter, those are the things you need to focus on. Go in that order and just get rolling. Remember, the key to newsletters, press send. Hey, if you gained value from this video, do me a favor, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, whatever it is that makes sense for you, but we would appreciate the support. Thank you.